Give me some pause. Just a couple of pause. So, the paint. I've been having lots of trouble with the paint still. All the black in the floor pans has reacted poorly with itself this time, so yeah. Full assembly's going to have to wait a little bit longer. So anyway, we're going to start with assembling a sub-assembly instead of just putting all the other bits into the chassis. We're going to start by putting the engine together with its cradle and all of that. So, got to start somewhere. So first up, I'm going to clean this down because it's covered in schmutz from, well, me working in here for the last 9 months. Wow. Anyway, so most of it should just come off with a clean rag. But being my shed, none of the rags are clean, so we've got a dirty one. Good enough for now. Before we can do stay. We have the engine cradle. Well, it's bright. So before we can bolt this to the engine, we need to mount the coil pack. Now that's on there, might as well install this. Sorted. Alright. Now that these two are in, back to the engine. Now I just need to find some bolts. Alrighty. That's going to need a new plug on it. All these wires can now be joined up and zip tied. Alright, all those cables are set. This is going to have a P-clip or something to hold it against the frame here somewhere. So I'm going to wait until this is all mounted before I finalise that. The only other thing is the coil. Now that looks a bit messy, so I'm going to shorten this lead. Now pull the seal off. Now I only know this because mine wasn't assembled correctly to begin with, but there's actually like a screw inside here that actually threads inside the cable and contacts with the copper wire. So you can just shorten it and screw the end back on where you want it. So yeah. I'm thinking about there somewhere. Oops. Sorry. Onto there. That looks much neater. So, throttle cable will get mounted to here when I have the other end mounted to the pedal. So, what else is it? I may need to get a new exhaust gasket. Anyway, that's it for the engine set at the moment. So that's all pretty good now. We just have to get the chassis ready, all the steering and braking components in, then this will all just drop in as a complete assembly. Do up the plugs and we're ready to go. So things have not gone exactly to plan. I've had all sorts of issues with paint, like all of them. There was some white overspray from where I'd painted the edges, and well, everywhere that the black paint touched the white, it reacted. So in the end, I scraped all this off, as you saw in the last episode, and I put down 2 coats, and it sat down perfectly. There was a few little bits weren't quite right, so I sanded them back and put on another coat of paint, and well, the entire thing has come up like I've put a bit of paint stripper on it or something. So now I have to strip it all back again and start again.
Invincible.
So what happened there was I got a couple of cans that had pretty much been finished, put them in a bucket of hot water, and then after a couple of minutes used them and just sprayed as thick a coat as I could on, and it did the same reaction as I was expecting and basically paint stripped the lot. Then I went through and used a scraper to scrape it all down. Then I used some thinners to clean it up, that last bit. So now it should be really good to lay down a coat of black. Now I've got about half a can left. I need to get this floor finished so then I can unmask and start actually bolting this thing together. Righty then. I am happy enough with the paint now. It's got lots of little speckles and bits in it, but there's no crazing. It hasn't gone weird. So what that means is I can finally take off all this masking and see what I've ended up with. Who am I kidding? So all that's left now is to get the big box of parts and start assembling. Now, you might look at this and think, that looks horrendous. And well, I think it does too. But when all the panels are in, it will look nothing like this. So, I'll give you a quick visualization. There's the first scratch in the paint. Does that make a little bit more sense? Now, this piece doesn't have paint on it yet because I still need to put some mounts in it for the seat. And I was waiting until I've got the seat before I do that. So, I'm going to go and start assembling parts and pieces. unfortunately that's all I have time for, because, well, the paint messed up and I've repainted this floor 3 times. Yeah, so not fun. Takes up a lot of time watching paint dry, only for it to stuff up, and yeah. But we have started final assembly. I got all the fuel system in. That is staying. So I'll probably put in the axle next. I've got my little bottle of Loctite, so that's going to be spread everywhere. And, well, couldn't help it. I already had the assembly put together for the engine, so I dropped it in just to see what it looks like, and it looks good. So, I was originally planning on putting some masking up the side and actual stenciling and painting the cubman and some stripes and stuff, but with the hassles I've had with paint, I'm just going to get some vinyls for it. It'll still look good. Anyway, that's for another time. That's all we've got time for. Thanks for watching. As always, customize everything.